Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. I'm Lee, and thanks for joining another live stream. If you haven't seen, I'm doing a series of streams where I bring on guests and we chat about anything and everything from tech to non-tech to whatever's on their mind. And I'm really excited today to do a relaxing Tuesday hangout. We're just gonna chat, talk about all sorts of fun, random topics, and see what you all in the chat want to talk a little bit more about and see where the conversation goes. And I'm excited to bring on two friends of mine today, Lindsay and Cassidy. So Lindsay Levine is a developer experience engineer at Netlify, and she's previously worked at Venmo and Coinbase. She's a gamer, she's a memer, and she wants to know what your astrological sign is. So drop that in the chat. And I first connected with Lindsay at a previous job that she was working at. And I quickly found out that we enjoy a lot of the same things, including making music, which I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about later. And the second guest is Cassidy Williams, who is also a developer experience engineer at Netlify. She loves mechanical keyboards and all things React. And Cassidy makes hilarious videos on TikTok and Twitter. So if you haven't, go give her a follow and check out some good tech memes. So please give a warm welcome and a round of applause in the chat for Lindsay and Cassidy. Hey.
Hello. Hey, everybody. I really liked your countdown music. I was bopping to that. That was great.
Yeah, like the default music that StreamYard gives you it's pretty fun. It's pretty boppy. I like it. Well, thank you so much for both joining today. It's great to just chat and hang out and see where the conversation goes.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Lindsay?
Thanks for having us. No, I was going to say that I had to mute during the countdown because my dog started scream barking at something. I don't know if she wasn't vibing with the music, but if you hear that, I'll mute quickly.
I have to constantly take my cat off my lap or prevent my cat from jumping on my desk when I'm doing anything with live streaming because somehow the cats always end up in the shot. Like there's no way around it.
I have to do that with my husband too.
Yeah.
They're just always in the background, right?
Yeah.
Nice. How are your Tuesdays going? Pretty good so far?
It's been busy, but good.
Busy.
We've been. I think Lindsay and I have both been working on different things today, but just lots and lots of coding stuff.
Yep, I've been very busy with some stuff. some stuff that's definitely high priority is all I'll say. So
it feels like, I don't know, everybody I've been talking to lately is really busy right now. I don't know if it's just that time of year, but this is the busiest week for me in recent memory for some reason. I don't know why. It's like everything just got scheduled this week somehow. So
yeah, the past 3 weeks have just been constant meetings and coding. And just no in between. That's just been it. But one of the things that I'm working on right now, we're doing some upgrades to our router internally, and it's fun. But we're updating React Router from V3 to V6, which is quite the leap. And anyone who has used React Router, I'm sure there's plenty of people around, knows that that's a bit of an ordeal.
Because then you got to understand the old way of doing things, the new way of doing things, and how you get from point A to point B, especially with multiple versions too. That's difficult.
Right. Yeah. But it's fun. Ooh, Lindsay, they want to know your astrological sign.
Do they?
They do.
I'm a Scorpio. I can tell you Cassidy's too.
Yeah, please tell me mine. I always forget.
Cassidy is a Sagittarius. And Lee?
I'm April. Isn't that? I don't remember what that one is.
Don't say Aries. Say it's late April.
It's late April. April 30th.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, we're good. We dodged a bullet there.
Just kidding to all the Aries in the chat. You're Taurus.
Nice.
Okay. Right? Yeah, Taurus.
Lindsay has opinions on all of the different ones, and I'm still kind of learning all of her opinions as I go.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about it, but I'm curious to hear more. What does a Taurus mean? What's your opinion?
Scorpio and Taurus are supposed to be very compatible. What's wrong with Aries? It's I think Taurus people are very chill and like grounded from what I've experienced. Who do I know that we might all know who's a Taurus? I think Shell. Do you guys follow Shelly? TC39, GitHub, Electron.
Oh yeah.
She might be a Taurus, but yeah. I might be remembering incorrectly, but I will say I got into astrology recreationally when I needed to explain why my relationship failed. And so anyone wondering why I joke about Aries is because of that. But no,
there's a question. Next.js question. I'm married to an Aries. Should I be worried?
What is your sign, Sid? Because it's all about compatibility between the signs.
Yeah.
I now need to find out what my wife is. I need to know
that. You know your wife's birthday, right? You're on the spot.
Yeah.
I just realized I think Joe's a Tauri or Tauries. I think he might be an Aries because he's early April.
Oh my.
We're doomed.
Oh no.
At least he cooks well.
Okay, Sid. Sure, Sid. I think you're good. Sid.
Phew.
Allie, we like Libras too. I know a couple Libras now. Sarah Drasner and Charlie Gerard are both Libras. We're incompatible. Yeah. I've had this conversation with Sarah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Wait, Lee, what is your wife's birthday? Dox her right now.
October, so Libra, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess that means
that's her in the chat, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
I was going to say same last name, so it's a guess, but I think so.
Yeah.
I knew this from last stream I watched, and yet still.
She's my number one fan, so she always jumps in.
Aww.
I love it.
I love that. So maybe
go ahead.
I was just saying, I thought Allie was talking about me and her, our compatibility. That makes a lot more sense.
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
I mean, both, right?
Yeah,
true. How's the weather over there, Lee?
Actually, much better today.
Okay.
After that cold stint for a while there, where it was painfully miserable, like -17 Fahrenheit. It is now, I think the high is 46 degrees Fahrenheit today. So
not bad.
I mean, we're talking a big change here.
Yeah, because I saw like Nebraska and Iowa were just hit with the negatives and
the cold air I feel like comes off in Chicago though, like off the lake, right?
Yeah, it has been just snowing a ton. I've been constantly shoveling and it's never done. And truly to the point where like our piles of snow, I've just designated areas where the piles of snow go. They're just way above our heads now. There's so much snow.
Because you moved from Seattle to Chicago, right?
Yes, I moved in October.
Nice.
Yeah, I moved, I remember, because it was right when Lindsay joined our team. Because I was just like, yes, I'll help you onboard. And then I was like, just kidding. And I bounced for a week so I could drive across the country.
And Lindsay, you've jet set it too. You've lived in a few different places, right? New York, SF?
Well, sure, yeah. It's not super interesting, but yeah, I lived in New York. I hated SF. I left as quickly as possible. Sorry to any Bay Area lovers out there, but now I'm in Philly, riding out, crazy times out here. Yeah. Planet Earth.
I don't know if you knew this, Lee, but Lindsay and I worked together in New York.
Oh, both at Venmo? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
True. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that. So you guys go way back.
Yeah. Well, and kind of you and I almost kind of go way back because I knew who you were in college, but we didn't really do stuff together.
Yeah, Iowa State is people don't realize how big it is and how small the community is. Very much connected, especially the alums, I feel like, especially the computer people, computer science, engineering.
Yeah,
whatever.
I feel like we all know each other just because we were just tight-knit enough and big enough where we're all over the place, but when we find each other, we're like, hey, and go Cyclones.
Yeah, it's like that one random person you run into wearing your alumni shirt. You're like, oh my gosh.
You're just like, yeah, that's pretty fun.
What So, I mean, you've both lived in a bunch of different places. Like, what do you enjoy the most about each place that you live? Because I don't know, I have lots of opinions on places and where I've ended up where I'm at now, and I don't know. I'm curious your thoughts.
I also did not like SF, and so I'm sure Lindsay and I could talk about that for a while. But I like having access to food. I like just good food at any time. I just want to be able to get my bubble tea if I'm in the mood for bubble tea or whatever cuisine. And then I'm not really the kind that goes out to bars and stuff a lot. Like I like having the option, but that's not really my jam, and so I don't tend to gravitate towards cities that are into that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the biggest pain point that comes to mind right now is I skated a lot in New York. SF, that's not a thing, at least from a commuting standpoint.
Well, because you'd just be going vertically down and then have to climb up.
So brutal. I mean, you'd see the pros like bombing like Powell Street Hill. That's just like black diamond of like a street.
I would crash.
Yeah, I would be in so much pain.
I would die, literally.
I actually have a funny story. When I was in college, I got into longboarding for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is a more ideal way to get to class. I'll just ride my longboard. And I'm like longboarding down Lincoln Way, which is like the main street. And I start going really fast, and it's hard to stop unless you're good at it. And I wasn't good at it.
Oh,
and
no.
completely just face planted like right in front of the buses. And all the students get off and they just like look at me, and I get up. I'm like, I'm fine.
I feel you so hard. I did the same thing in Montreal. So I went to school in Montreal, and that's probably the only other interesting place I've lived. And I've had to bomb or like just completely wrecked my stuff in front of students, and it's just very, very tough, very character building experience.
I also attempted longboarding and just the world knocks you down, and so do bikes. And just there were times where a few bicycle riders would just run into me, and the fact that it happened more than once, at one point I took it as a sign I'm not meant to longboard. Stopped.
Yeah. Well, were you trying in New York or in where?
No, in college at Iowa State. New York was a whole other level of someone is going to knock me over that I chose not to.
Yeah, New York's.
A lot of people ride the electric ones in New York, I think, like the electric skateboards. People zipping between cars on those. I would never, like, not a chance.
Yeah,
it's so funny. I bought a boosted board. My first month in SF, rode it once, was like no shot. It's so unnatural. I find it to be so strange and dangerous.
It's nerve-wracking. I'm always worried that like the remote or something will fail and something's bad's gonna happen to me. I can't.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say when the Lime scooters, like the Bird scooters, remember the scooters, like when they got really popular.
Yeah.
I was in SF riding them around, and this was before they had like the laws and the regulations in place. Right. It's like the most, like, no wonder they had to put those in place. It was like the most unsafe thing ever. Like you're just riding down the middle of the road in like hilly SF, like just terrible.
Yeah, I did a workshop in Dallas like a year and a half ago, late 2019, and it was really, really rainy there, and the scooters were really popular. And there was this one metal grate in front of my hotel, and I just saw multiple people just completely wipe out on the metal grates on those scooters, and just, no.
Like in the street, like the subway grates, kind of?
It was, it's like that, but it was on the sidewalk.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's so slippery. I felt so bad because it was kind of consistent. Just people would just completely wipe out, and
set up a cam.
So Lindsay, I know
scooters are great for old cities in Europe. True.
They are.
All those
they are great in Europe.
What were you saying, Lee?
I was gonna say I wanted to hear more about your music production because I think it's something that's really interesting. I'll drop a link to the SoundCloud below if we want everyone to check it out. But yeah, I think it's really interesting because I also like making music. I'm not good at it, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a fun hobby of mine. I see we got our keyboards in the back.
I was gonna say, you got your keyboards. I got my trumpet right over here.
Nice.
Band, start a little band.
Yeah.
Now, let's go.
Let's go. Live performance right now, improv.
Oh yeah.
That would be a disaster.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I have like a mix of some amount of pride in it because it's something I always wanted to do, and I always felt like I'll never even be able to make something that sounds decent or real at all. And then just like so much imposter syndrome around like what I'm doing just like isn't great, and like as far as like mixing and mastering goes, I'm like very like lazy with it, and so I think that like what I do sounds like crap and whatnot. But I really do. I love music so much. I know you love music so much. We like some of the same artists, and yeah, it's been fun to just do stuff that I like to do.
I think it's something that we as a society need to improve in general. Like, you can do something and enjoy it and not necessarily be amazing at it. Like there are some things that I just want to try. Like, I really enjoy drawing. I know I'm not good at drawing. And so I do it just for myself. I'm not going to post this on social media or anything. I'm just doing it because I have fun doing it. And I think that needs to be more normalized, because so many times you see people either say, oh, you're trying to improve your chess game so you can be like higher ranked or something. And some people just want to play and or monetize it. I think in tech especially, a lot of people are just like, oh, how are you going to monetize that side project? Sometimes you just want to build something dumb. Yeah, we gotta be better at that.
Facts.
And I think too, another thing that I struggle with is anything creative, especially music. I think people who like to make music or play instruments, they're also big listeners of music. And because of that, you learn what is good. Like, what you think sounds good. So you're constantly like evaluating yourself against this unreal standard of these people who are experts. Like, I make a terrible mix of a song. I'm like, this doesn't sound like Jeremy Zucker yet.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially with like electronic music, right? I'm into a range of music, like Lee mentioned. That's kind of our mutual favorite is Jeremy Zucker. But the stuff I produce or try to produce is kind of like the big room melodic EDM stuff, or just like the indie electronic stuff. And just when it comes to like synthesizing the right sound, right? Like, and just like there's the whole world of like plugins like VSTs and stuff like within your workstations and stuff. And I just like, I can't, like, I just want to like think of the sound in my head and just have it be there without going through the like, I don't know, all that playing around or whatever it takes to become like one of those big name producers. Like, one of my favorites is Millennium. Like, his sound quality and his big room vibe is just like, in my head I'm like, I'll never be able to do that. And like I compare myself, I'm like, this sounds like just buzzy to me, whatever I'm doing. So it's tough.
I like what Amberly said in the chat. I excel at doing things and not being amazing at them.
Yo, yeah, that's Amberly.
Yeah.
Hi, Amberly.
There's this one YouTube like series. I don't know if either of you have seen it, where it's 4 producers, 1 sample or something. It's so cool.
Is that Andrew Huang?
Yes.
Yeah, he's, oh man,
so cool. Yeah. And so they'll take like one little sample and then just say go to 4 producers and see what they do with it. And I will never be good at producing. I've tried it in the past. I'm just like, that'll be something that I play with on occasion. And seeing how they take things in completely different directions is so interesting. And I just love seeing the creativity of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Lindsay, if it makes you feel better, when you sent me your SoundCloud, it actually inspired me to get back into it, because I had been like not doing anything for years. And then I took a 1-month music course in January to try to like get me to make something. And I finally like got into Logic. I was actually making something and it felt good. Like, it wasn't anything polished, but it felt good.
Wait, first of all, I love that. But did we talk about, I can't remember if back then we talked about the course that I took, because you just mentioned his name, Andrew. That was.
Oh, did you take his course?
I feel like we talked about this because you mentioned you did the Learn Monthly one with Andrew, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I did a similar one. It was Learn Monthly, but it was Blanks, who's another YouTube artist.
Okay.
And specifically because it was focused on Logic instead of a different editor, or not editor, but workstation, DAW. Yeah, it was really fun to like create something. And I wasn't even like we were talking about earlier, I didn't even get mad at myself at the end of it that I hadn't really finished anything. It was more of just doing it that I was like, okay, I feel good now. Like I've scratched that.
I did this. Yeah.
Did you like the Learn Monthly model?
I overall liked it. The course that I took, I think, tried to do too much too fast. To where I felt like I couldn't. Like they wanted you to make 3 songs. I was like, I'm just trying to do 1.
For sure.
One.
Same with mine.
But overall, it's a really cool idea, I think, and like having the community of people too to like talk to and share gave me inspiration too, because I'd see other people's posts, I'd be like, oh, that's really cool, or like that's a really good cover of this song.
Yeah, I've noticed that Skillshare has been doing more of that too, where you can like chat with other people who've taken the courses. I succumbed to the podcast ads, and it's pretty nice because you can like there's a project section where you can see what people have made and stuff with a particular course and play around with it and stuff. I really like that style.
Yeah.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh,
that's a tough one.
That's a good one for Cassidy.
It's also hard to like consider because I haven't been in a karaoke establishment.
I know, right?
So long. But
it definitely it depends on the crowd too, because I do admit I try not to go first so I can gauge the crowd and then pick a song based on the general genres that they go for. I really like a Prayer by Madonna.
Oh, totally.
So good. That's such a fun karaoke song to do. It's a blast. I've Total Eclipse of the Heart, another classic. It's that one is it's really good to just get everybody belting that one.
Yeah.
That's a karaoke pro when you read the room, because it's all about like feeding off the audience, because you can get up there and like absolutely crush some song that nobody knows and it doesn't resonate well, but then you go up there and you do one that everybody knows and it's like, oh my gosh.
I love it when I do karaoke with just a bunch of Broadway nerds, because I'm just like, oh yes, I know my songs from these musicals, but people who aren't Broadway nerds simply don't know those songs, and so figuring that out is very key. The last time I did like big karaoke was pre-pandemic. It was actually like in a random bar in Minneapolis, where it was a friend's bachelorette party, and we were all going, and it was just crowded and full of people like wearing cowboy hats and stuff. And so it was like a fun, loud group. And with Total Eclipse of the Heart, just a few of us went up and belted it. And it was so fun because it felt like a concert because everybody was singing along. Oh, I miss that kind of stuff.
Me too. You need to check out, there's a bar in Kansas City in the Power and Light District that is an entire karaoke bar. And it's based on the models you see in like Japan, where they have these karaoke rooms. So there's like the main stage where you can go sing, and then there's like other rooms you can rent out where there's like TVs and mics, and you get like just a private room with 12 of your friends, whatever, and you just all do karaoke. So much fun. I had an absolute blast there.
I love those. We went once in my husband's Korean, and we went to Korea to visit his family and stuff, and they rented out a big room for us. Nice. And it is so deep in the culture there like when we went, I told this story to my team so many times. We all like jumped up and we're just like, yeah, we'll do this song. Yeah, we'll do this song. And so it was a mix of like Korean songs and English songs and stuff. And we couldn't convince his aunt to go. And we were just like, come on, you can do it. You can do it. So she went up and she straight up said, okay, I want this song from Barbra Streisand and I want it in this key. And like, she knew her key, she was ready. And she just belted it beautifully after being just like quietly drinking on the side and stuff. And it was amazing. And it was just like, this is how it is here. Everybody just knows their karaoke strengths, and everyone does it. And I love that stuff. I wish we could do it more.
That sounds incredible.
I know it was
I know the world post Corona. I'm excited to get to that. at some point.
Same. Oh, that'll be so
Any
great.
day now.
What are you looking forward to most when things are back to somewhat normal?
So traveling. I mean, that's
traveling.
The
Yeah.
usual one, right? Like just
The
Are you
easy
trying-
one
are-
is traveling. But yeah.
Are
Go
you
ahead.
trying to plan any trips or anything?
Everything's
No.
such a question mark right now that I'm not even going to risk booking anything. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you, Lee?
That's kind of where I'm at. Like my wife and I want to go somewhere next year, but at that, it's like we've been trying to save up time, vacation to go on an international trip. But the thought of booking an international trip with the uncertainty is like, I don't know, like
Yeah.
we'll see. So I hope next year everything's good. I really hope.
Yeah. I would love to travel, but then also just things that used to be so commonplace, I miss being able to do, like just kind of talking to people in cafes on occasion or hugging my grandparents. There's little things like that. I'm really looking forward to that. And just kind of feeling like you don't have to be afraid to get too close to people.
Same.
And we have the blessing of seasonal depression in Iowa, where it's like it gets dark at like 3:30 p.m. and it's cold. So like yesterday, I'm not even joking. I went outside to get the mail. Get outside to get the mail. It's 45 degrees. I walk out. I'm like, it's sunny, 45 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm like in the best mood ever because I've been trapped indoors in no sun.
Yeah.
And just like a little bit of sun. That's all I need. Just a little bit.
It's so true. The early sunsets are just brutal.
I'm still not used to just going into weekends and not having plans. Like typically, if someone was just like, "Oh, you want to do something this weekend?" I would have to check, make sure I'm not traveling, make sure I'm not doing this or that. And the fact that I'm truly doing nothing, like I know I have to go to the grocery store at some point. That's about it. It's still weird to me to just have that free schedule.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the one thing that I have adopted now in this time is using delivery food apps. Like I use Uber Eats and DoorDash now, and like I never really used them before, and now it's like, oh man, this is actually really convenient.
It's just like, huh? Why haven't I used that? Yeah. It's really, really nice.
I use them too often. I'll say it. I'll admit it.
I agree. I need to go more to the grocery store, but it's like that's a lot of work, and there's too many people there.
Amberly's saying grocery store visits are the social event of the week.
Yeah, that is very accurate. Very accurate.
We got a question from Predator about books.
What genre have we read recently? Fiction, Dune Trilogy, Witcher Saga. Oh yeah.
Normally, I'm very into dystopian books. I haven't been as much in this time.
I can't blame you.
I try. There've been a couple where I start reading them. I'm like, this feels too close to home. I'm just gonna put that one on pause for later. But I do really like sci-fi fiction, dystopian style stuff.
For sure.
Lindsay, what about you?
I don't read.
That's fine.
Just nope. I can't tell you the last book I've read or when.
You do enough reading on the computer, it satisfies.
There you go. I've got my Twitter feed.
Oh yeah.
And I've got source code to read. That's it for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm trying to read more this year just because I have nothing else to do, so might as well. And the book I just started, which it's pretty short, it's Matthew McConaughey's book. It's just stories about his life.
Yeah.
Which seems interesting so far. My mom was like, "Hey, you should check this out." So I'm gonna read through that one, see how it goes.
Yeah,
I could see that one being fun. I like listening to those kinds of celebrity autobiographies, vignettes of their life. I like listening to those on audiobook or something while I'm doing laundry, because then it's like a podcast, but more long form and stuff.
It's like he's there doing the laundry with you, Yeah.
You're just listening. You're like, all right, all right, all right.
Yeah. You open up that dryer. That's pretty cool. That's a grandma impression.
I'm trying.
We got another question. This way with a 4.
More office people or more stay in home? Office for life.
I'm home office for life. I've been doing remote work though since before the pandemic, so I like it.
Oh, you know, the Venmo days.
Venmo days were very awesome office life that I don't know if we'll ever be able to get back.
Yeah, we were very lucky for a good neighborhood, a good office, a good team. You know, we just had kind of the perfect setup there. Yeah, it was good. But these days, I'll just say a mix. Let's just say a healthy mix. Can stop in 1 or 2 days a week, see everybody, socialize, but otherwise not the pressure of, at Coinbase it was like you have to be in unless there's something important going on.
It's very different working from home during a pandemic and not during a pandemic too, because typically I would go to co-working spaces, to the library, to cafes, and so I would see people somewhat regularly, and that was really, really nice because when you want to just focus, work on your own, you're at home and it's great. But then when you do feel more social, you can go work with friends. So it's different. But yeah, what about you, Lee?
I had been in the office really for the majority of my career. It's outside of like 3 months where I worked fully remote until this year. So this is really the first time where at first it was forced home because of the pandemic. And then when I started my new job, it was full-time remote. And after, doing this for a little while, I still think I'd like it more, but I totally agree with if it wasn't a pandemic, I think I would be enjoying it way more because I could go see my friends more, or like go do things after I leave. I can escape the home. Right now, it's hard to escape the home.
Yeah. Like our rock climbing gym had a co-working space in it, and so you could like go hang out with people there. It was very fun, and so I'm hoping that we can get a nice return to that kind of stuff too, because I do think a lot of people will be working from home from now on, but there will be just a lot more options for people who want to have the flexibility of being around people and working from home.
So true. So true.
We were talking about TikTok before we went live and all the fun videos that Cassidy's making. And I was just saying how I've really enjoyed getting on TikTok and using it in 2020. Like at first I was like, I'm not getting on there. That's for the kids. And then I was like, oh, this is actually really funny. And now I watch this all the time.
I think that's the story of almost everybody on the app.
So true.
Yeah, I first got it because the video editor was so good. Like because I got it in 2019, just like early to mid 2019, and I wasn't really scrolling as much, and there weren't as many people on it either. It was kind of just like a fun thing. But the video editor was so nice to be able to just like shoot quick things, and so that's what first got me into it. And then now, it's a lifestyle.
I had this realization the other day that I think I connect more with TikTok because I'm a musical person at heart, and like the video mediums, they just hit different. Like the good songs, they're so much better, which is why I liked Vine in the past too. Like I always loved that part of the visual expression.
Right. Well, and it's nice and short too, and also it's like generally positive. When you go to Twitter, it's quite the mix, and sometimes it's the doom scrolling was a phrase invented for a reason. You're kind of just like, oh my gosh, so much bad news. But with TikTok, it's mostly people being silly, and like you can go there and have a good time, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
We have fans of the videos about deployment.
Hey, thanks.
True. Very cool.
We call those ones speedy bloops.
TM, trademarked.
I bet Lindsay has some thoughts on this. AKA not important.
Yeah, I dropped out after a year, so I would say not important, though it is very easy to say in our industry, right? Certainly not the same across the board for people who aren't trying to be engineers, maybe just PMs, designers, whatever. Yeah, if you're into tech, nah, don't go to school. Not worth it.
Or not necessarily don't go to school. You don't need to go to school necessarily. I do, like, I wouldn't trade my time at school because I really, really liked it. I dropped out of my master's program, though, because I was just like, I don't need this. But I think it's that different strokes for different folks. Like, some people, they really thrive in an academic environment. They learn best that way, and so it works well for them. And some people, they learn best on their own. Some people, they learn on the job. It varies.
Were you doing a concurrent MBA?
No, I was doing a master's in comp sci. I want to say it was like 2018, 2019, something like that. I was doing it through Georgia Tech, and I was doing homework at like 3 a.m. one night thinking about all my meetings and work I had to do the next day, and I was like, do I need this? I don't. And thus I dropped.
I've thought about that. Like, the thought of going back to school now, I don't know that I could do it. Like, now that I'm done with it, I don't know.
I'm a different person now. Like, it was interesting. I was really learning a lot, but then there was a point where I was just like, I can learn this online and on my own time without a homework deadline. And that was the nail in the coffin for me there.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I had a few friends in college who did the whole concurrent MBA thing, and I'm like, how do you have enough time to do this? I don't understand.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
So much work. And in college, I tolerated it. I think a lot of us tolerated classes and being just like, okay, we have all of this homework. We might not get much sleep tonight. It's fine. Like, I know I had a semester where I averaged between 1 and 3 hours of sleep a night. Not healthy, but it happens. Now,
that's not normal. That is not healthy.
It was terrible. No, believe me, don't do that, everyone. I'm talking to you. Sleep. Don't do what I did. I was a fool. But it happens.
But was it your fault or was it the system's fault?
It was probably both. I signed up for a lot of classes that semester because I was going to be studying abroad the following semester. I was just like, got to get all of these technical courses. And so it was 21 credits of only technical classes. And just, it was not in addition to band. And so it was like all of those and then throwing band on top of it. It was a poor choice. I almost went blind in one eye, but we survived that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. From the lack of sleep?
Yeah. It was really bad.
Gosh.
Everyone should sleep. That's the lesson.
Yep.
Yeah. Never
I do
again.
like sleeping. Yeah.
I never let it get that intense, but I definitely agree that, like, I took it too far, where it's like, I wasn't good about the whole boundary side of thing, or like understanding what my limits were, I guess, in that regard. And I thought, oh, this is just like what you have to do. It's not.
Right. It's not. And yeah, like, I think most people didn't take it as far as I did in that semester, but like, you tolerate a lot when you're a student because you're just like, we've got to just pump this out, get the learning. But yeah, this way says I'm currently in college. I feel like I'm learning stuff I don't need.
You know what's really funny?
Go ahead.
I was watching, there's a meme on TikTok where it's like, it plays like the investigative music from like a drama show, and they're like, so I saw somebody's, it was about job interviews. It was like, oh, like I see here on your resume that like you know how to use Excel, and then it puts on the music. It's like, all right, show me how to use Excel. Welcome to every programming interview.
A formula does it. Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think, like, for example, assembly development, I never want to do assembly again, but I'm glad that I generally know how it works. And especially if I ever do dive into like the WebAssembly side of things, it's helpful knowledge, hopefully, for some aspects of it. And then for data structures, interview questions. It's so useful for interview questions. And then, like, I think I've touched on data structures a handful of times in my web development career. It's good to know.
Nah.
But you can also Google it. Nah.
I'm just gonna go and throw it in. Just drop out.
It works for some, right?
It does work for some. I mean, look at Lindsay. She's a superstar.
You gotta have that voice out there for him too. I'm just providing the alternate perspective, you know.
Sure.
So that's what I'm here for.
Do y'all want to show off your backgrounds? The cool things you got in the
backgrounds?
back, the props, your
Lindsay,
keyboard.
Do you want to go first? Because I have too many things.
Since I have nothing, I have an Arturia key lamp, 88 keys.
Nice.
And then I have a twin-size bed, my childhood bed. That's where I'm living now, and that's what I'm sleeping in. So, yeah, there's some other stuff in the room, but the camera.
What kind of mic do you have?
I have a HyperX mic that I'm not using right now. I use for gaming, but right now I'm just on my laptop mic.
Dang.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm basic.
I mean, it sounds good. So I mean, it's more just you showing us with microphones that we purchased.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Nah, I wanna level up, but I need a good reason to. So
sure.
Maybe when the PC arrives. Allie, what are you doing right now?
You're now best friends.
Did you tell her to say that? Did you tell her to say that?
No, I didn't. It is kind of true though.
Is it? Oh my god, I'm flattered.
Yeah,
that's my queen, Allie. That's my queen. So
we stand her hard in this family, in this Robinson family.
Yeah. What about your background, Cassidy?
Things. So this is an IKEA shelf. On the top shelf, we have my Lego Bugatti, which is nice. It took me like 16 hours to build. It has a real working engine that like has pistons that move and stuff and a gear shift.
Oh wow!
Amazing. Yeah. On this end, I have some Christmas Lego sets, and then I also have a keyboard in the back. That's an Iris keyboard that I built. Over here, the Cass Avenue sign, because that's my name and it's a real sign in Chicago. More Legos and my too many glasses, because I have too many glasses. On this side, more Legos, and then also some keyboard switches and containers, and then these are books. All of them are either drawing books or Go books. I play Go a lot, the board game. Down here is my Rubik's Cube pile. And then I've got more Legos and stuff over here. And then over there are pictures of my family. Oh, and Charmander. The end.
The end.
Charmander. That's amazing. You have a really awesome background.
Yeah, it's truly, it's like a temporary spot where I had an IKEA shelf, and I was like, might as well populate it with things that make me look fun, and it's fun to look at too.
Yeah, Lee, yours is very nice too. I like the light.
Thank you.
The vibe is.
Thank you. Yeah, my so this room, like my little office in here, it was just white walls and literally nothing for like a year, and I was like, all right, I need to do something in here because it feels, when I was, at home all the time, I was like, I need to spice up a little bit. So I got this shelf and I got my brand new record on display.
Nice.
That's another place we connect for sure.
For sure. I got some camera gear and I got my drone and some USB external storage stuff. It's just a random shelf full of stuff and my keyboard and
When I first saw that Devil and God vinyl, I freaked out because this tattoo is from like a bar of music from a song on Devil and God.
Wow. That's amazing.
I was like, it's very near and dear to my heart.
Oh yeah, I used to be, I still enjoy their music, but I used to be a huge fan. And I drove up to, where did I go? Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to like the festival there and watched them live, and it was like so good. And they're great.
Yeah, that's how it goes. You're like a diehard brand new fan for that phase of your life, and then they're with you forever, but you don't really listen to them anymore,
So I actually found there's a term for this now.
Tell me.
Because of TikTok, I guess. So it's like the I don't know, like the emo phase, the brand new phase. They now call those people, us, the olders, the elder emos. That's what we're called now. So I said, okay, all right.
Interesting. Wow.
I feel privileged with that name. I feel like I'm like in some kind of knighted royalty. I don't know.
An elder. You just have to respect your elders, fellow elders.
Right. Yeah, that was quite a phase of music. What are you both currently listening to? Like, what's your jam right now? Maybe some like artists you're rocking with, or some songs you're rocking with.
Cassidy?
I've been listening to just a lot of chill covers of songs lately, because I still want to listen to music, but I tend to sing along and get distracted if I like it too much. And so I've been trying to listen to covers of songs that I know, but the cover is just different enough where like I can focus on my work because I'm not belting along. And so there's been like a bunch of Spotify playlists lately of like indie covers and indie weekly or whatever. And so I've been listening to those.
Yeah. I mean, Lee knows the EP Brent 2 just came out. It's Jeremy and Tracy. So good. Lee is kind of fake, not a real fan, so he didn't go to the live show. They did like the I don't know what they call it, like an internet moment or something like that. That wasn't exactly what it was called, but they did a little performance of the EP and it was lovely. But yeah, just the same old like, yeah, just the same old for me music wise. Do you have any new stuff to recommend, Lee?
So my top artist of last year was Laney, Lany, and when I saw him live, the band who opened up for them was called Valley, and they're like a more unknown one, I guess, but they have some really good music I've been listening to a lot lately. I've also been like, because I can't really listen to music when I'm trying to do productive things, because I focus on the music too much. Like I just get completely distracted. My mind is consumed by the music. So I've been listening to a lot of like progressive house EDM mixes on YouTube, where it's just like every song fades from one to the other. You can't really tell what song it is, but it's got a good beat and you're just kind of bopping.
Mm-hmm. For sure. No, that's a good strategy. I've done that.
That's why I really like mashups and stuff in general too, because you can get like lists of songs that you like, but then don't get too distracted.
Yeah, Valley has a song called. Do they have a song called like 1999?
Yeah, I think that one just came out. It's pretty good.
I've heard that one. That was a good one. Your wife's saying Ban Camino, also great.
Oh yeah, we love Ban Camino here. Big fans.
Get some other questions. Sorry, go ahead.
It was Valentine's Day 2 years ago, and they played at a extremely small dive bar in Des Moines, where I live. So it was, I mean, probably like 50 or 75 person venue. And my wife and I were there and like stayed after the show and like went and came up to him. We're like, we love you guys so much. Like, can we get a picture with you?
That
good time.
That's so
intimate
fun.
shows are like, there's nothing like that.
Oh, yeah.
I love that for you guys.
And that's so fun. We got a question from Ezekiel. Projects outside of daily work.
Cheers from Argentina. Nice. Yeah, well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Projects outside of work. You guys working on anything cool?
I know you are working on a ton of things, Lee. I'm mostly making memes.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything. It's tough for me to squander some word up the energy to
muster
yeah.
Energy to do this stuff. But this is what I'll say before I pass the mic is I finally added this to my Twitter bio. I said, talk to me about literally anything other than tech, because I feel I'm one of those people or engineers in the world who just generally it's not like my passion, but it's also just like not enough of a passion for me to like be as immersed in it as some other people in the tech world. So and I'm not really out and about doing the project stuff, but just to validate those out there, who might be like that. But
for sure.
What about y'all?
More people need to say that kind of stuff. I'm not working on anything now, but I plan on starting a couple things. There's a few. I have a list of like baby projects of things that I've been putting off for like a year, where I just want to get some of those done. And so, like, one minor one was I made myself a URL shortener so I can have some URLs that I don't have to go navigate and find to articles I link to regularly and stuff. And then besides that, I'm just trying to do also more non-tech stuff and draw more and take more classes and stuff.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, same as me. I feel like so much time doing tech things in the past year. I was like, I'm kind of like, I want to get back to my roots, I guess, which is hobbies that aren't tech. So I've been like trying to do music and trying to like play my guitar more and just play board games with my wife or like something like that. Like trying to get more back to that stuff and less of like the side projects. So, which has been fun. Yeah. It's been good.
What games have you been playing?
We like all of the games that are like the super basic, easy to understand, but then you take it to a way too competitive level. You know what I mean? Like, they're the games where like we can play with our like nieces and nephews and they can like pick it up. But then at the same time, like I get way too into it and I like, get super competitive with it. So we really like, Sorry is a classic. We love Sorry. I'm trying to think what else. All sorts of just any kind of card games. Like there's 1,000,001 card games, and I feel like too, it's hard to talk about card games because everybody calls the same game like a little bit different. I don't know if you know that. You'll say like, oh, this game. They're like, oh, I know that game, but we call it.
Like, oh, that's Rummy and stuff like that.
Yeah, Ali says Uno. We do love Uno.
Have you tried Patchwork? Patchwork is a really good 2-player game that, like, at first you're just like, oh, this is nice, and then you can get super heated with it. I think you would like it just based on what you've said. Patchwork is really, really good.
Oh, Sequence too is fun. If you ever played that, that one can get like really competitive. You have like 3 or 4 people playing. We play that with my extended family. It's fun.
Nice.
What games do you guys like?
Well, here's what I'll say is I'm not married like most of my peers. So I'm not really, I don't really have a board game partner. So I'm going to pass the mic to Cassidy here.
I've been playing a lot of tabletop simulators so I can play board games with people and stuff. Lindsay, get on it when your PC comes. But one game that we've been really, really into is Feast for Odin. It's one of those hardcore games where like it can take a while if you don't like go fast and know what you're doing and stuff. And so like I have played that game where it takes like 3 hours to play, but they made it was designed so well. Actually, the same designer as Patchwork. Patchwork is a 2-player game, but with Feast for Odin, you can play it either as a 1-player against the game or any number of players up to like 5 or 6, and you're trying to build your farm and your land as you're a Viking and try to like beat up other people, and it's very fun.
People stream this on Twitch, right?
I've seen it. I haven't seen people play Feast for Odin on there.
Maybe it's something else.
But I'm gonna have to check that one out.
It's really good.
That's awesome.
And then another one that was really fun is Wingspan. I don't know if you've seen that one. You manage an aviary and you're collecting birds, and it's a card game that has like you roll dice and stuff, and it's really cute because it comes with like a dice tower that you build in there. And what's cool about it is it's a somewhat complex game once you learn it. The pieces are relatively basic, but what I appreciate about it is the woman who designed it. There's not a lot of women board game designers, and she got like all women artists to contribute to it and stuff. And she's actually like, she's a bird scientist, a nature scientist, environmentalist. Wow. And so all of the cards, it has like the beautiful art of the birds and stuff, but also like a fun fact about the bird while you're, going for victory points and stuff.
the one sentence summary there, like when you introduced it, just cracked me up. You're like, yeah, we're collecting birds. I was like, where's this going? Are these real birds?
That's it.
That's so random.
Collecting birds. Well, and then different ones have different powers. You could probably replace the bird concept with anything. You could be collecting cars, but it's bird themed.
That's cool though that she was really passionate about like her career and her field, and then turned it into a board game.
Yeah, she just released a butterfly themed one too called Mariposas, and I haven't played that one yet, but it seems really legit. They're really highly ranked, like top 10 games of 2019 and 2020 and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Board games.
Hey, in the chat. Thanks everybody joining.
Hello.
Much love.
Wait, you got a Vercel question a couple times. No pressure to answer it.
We can. Where's that at? We can always answer that in DM. We can keep it non-tech unless it's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, except for Peter's giving you, the love shout out. That's totally fair.
Wow, from Slovakia. Hello. It's pretty late over there.
I love seeing people chime in from where they're at in the world. It always makes me feel like
it's so fun.
A much smaller connected place to see people tuning in, especially at different time zones when it's not, in the middle of the day or around there for people. So we appreciate all y'all joining.
Yeah.
So fun. Well, thank you so much for having us, Lee. This was a great time.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining. It was fun just to talk about anything and everything and about our hobbies and what we enjoy doing. It's nice to break up the meetings in tech
all
and
of
do
the
something
tech
a little
posts.
different. I agree.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll do it again sometime. Maybe I'll join your Twitch or something. I haven't got into Twitch yet. It'd be fun.
That's a whole other ball game. Let's do it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
cool.
Thank you to everybody in the chat who's joined. We appreciate y'all joining, and thank you, Cassidy and Lindsay.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. We love you.
Bye, everyone.